Hi again. Happy Monday, my friends. How are we this evening? Has everyone had a chance to grab some dinner? I know it's still pretty early on the other side of the country, but here on the east side of the United States, it is 7 o'clock. So I feel like a lot of people are like either eating dinner or you've already eaten dinner. And my plan after unboxing a few minutes ago, it was like an hour and a half ago, was to eat. I have not accomplished that goal. I got sidetracked by shiny, pretty things. So if you're eating, think of me. Think of me. Hi, guys. Hi, Wanda. Hey, Karen. Hey, Stacia. Miss Christy, how are you? So good to see you guys again, right? There's Maggie. Hi, hi. All right, you guys. There's Miss Ruth. Hello, my darling. How are ya? Maria, hello again. So, you guys, we unboxed just a little while ago. It hasn't been that long. It was long enough for me to eat, and I didn't do that. But hope you guys did. So, in case you missed it, we unboxed the Destination North Pole bag o' goodies, and it was a very small sneak peek into just some of the things that you are going to get in your Destination North Pole shipment of wonderfulness, right? So in that shipment there are tons of beads. I showed you guys a lot of the beads. There are tons of stringing material and things to create the projects with. There is the jewel loom. There is going to be some leather. There's going to be just a little bit of everything, and I showed you guys just a small little peek into what is there. If you missed it, that was earlier this afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern time, so you can go back and watch the replay if you want to see exactly what was in the Destination North Pole unboxing that I had for you guys. You can also get a full list of all the materials and all of the beads on the Jessie James Beads website if you want to get like the full version of what is included. And you guys can still sign up. There are a handful of spots left, so please, please, please sign up and get your spot. Don't wait too long because those are going to be gone. Particularly now that we have looked at some of the beads, that was really kind of the turning point for some of you that were still on the fence. And seeing those gorgeous bead mixes was really like what kind of put you over the edge. So keep that in mind. If you're still one of those people that's on the fence, realize that some of those people on the fence, they made up their mind tonight. So, you might want to like make your way over to the other side of the fence and come hang out with us. It's going to be great. We're going to have a lot of fun. So, hi there, everybody. I'm so happy to see you guys. Hi. Oh gosh, Nicole sending you love and positivity. Becky said she watched the unboxing and she loved it. Me too. The bead mixes are so good. So good. They're absolutely gorgeous. Marianne says, seems like we were here just a few minutes ago. We were. It's just been a minute. Oh gosh, you guys. So how's everybody feeling this Monday? Are we pumped up and ready to tackle a brand new week? Or are you kind of slow to start? I've been kind of slow to start today, not gonna lie. I'm usually pretty pumped up on Mondays, but this Monday it was raining when I got up this morning, so turning the ignition on that whole body it was like, yeah, took a minute. Hi guys, hi Fern, hi Sophia. So what are we doing today? Well, I'm so glad you asked. We are, Carrie, welcome, first time. Awesome. So glad you're here. So we are on Mondays. We normally focus on a small business that partners with Jessie James Beads. And so this Maker Monday is no different. Maker Monday, Monday Maker, however you want to say it. This is no different. We are focusing on SilverSilk. And you guys know that Jessie James Beads has a very close loving relationship with SilverSilk and more, and the wonderful Nilay Patel. And So it's absolutely my pleasure to get to show you guys a project using some of the SilverSilk. Now, I realize that we have a lot of new people. First and foremost, hello and welcome in. We're so glad to have you. And this may be one of your first experiences with SilverSilk. Nilay did a live last week where he featured some of his gorgeous SilverSilk and some of the Jesse James beads. And excuse me, I am going to be doing the same thing, and I wanted to keep it simple, right? I mean, not like so simple that you're going to be bored, but I feel like if this is one of your very first introductions to SilverSilk, I want you to be inspired and not intimidated by it. First of all, this stuff is gorgeous, like amazing gorgeous, and it does not come across on camera nearly as beautiful as it does in person. It really is the most magical stuff you've ever seen, and you can do a million different things with it, and I don't want you to feel overwhelmed with that, right? Nilay has books, and you can watch his tutorials and all of those things, and he does the most incredible things with SilverSilk. And though his inspiration is amazing, I don't want you to be intimidated. I want you to take it slow, right? Take it slow, start easy, and work your way up, right? You don't have to jump right into the deep end all at once. And so our project for tonight is relatively simple, but again, not board simple, just simple in the execution and the inclusion of the SilverSilk in our design. So we're gonna do an easy pair of earrings, and then we're gonna put together just a quick and easy pendant and put it on some SilverSilk, because that's what we're focusing on, is the SilverSilk. It really is gorgeous stuff, you guys. I mean, it's just so pretty. We are using the School of Magic Wise Raven. This blue is incredible. And I don't know if you can tell, but it has that iridescent, it's got that beautiful iridescent fiber that's running through it. So this is called capture chain, for those of you who have never experienced this before. So SilverSilk comes in a lot of different varieties. This is capture chain, and capture chain is knitted wire over a ball chain necklace. And the ball chain, well, it's not necessarily a necklace because there's not any ends on it, but it is a piece of ball chain. And Nilay uses the ball chain in a lot of different colors. This one in particular has the silver ball chain running through it. It has that gorgeous fiber that has that iridescent kind of sparkle to it that's running through there. And then it is a very tiny wire that is knitted. It's very hard to see up close. Over the camera, but I promise you it's even more amazing in person. But just look at that. Gosh, it's so pretty. So it goes hand in hand very well with Jesse James beads, of course, because the color, the texture, Nilay creates custom colors, and it just partners really well with Jesse James beads, because Jesse James beads is all about texture and colors and shapes and all of those fun things. So the partnership, I mean, is just like a match made in beady heaven, right? So we're going to be using, with that beautiful blue, we're going to be using the Blueberry Pie mini mix. This is part of the Market Fresh minis, and there's actually two. I think I put the other one away. I believe it's called Raspberry Ice Pop is the other blue one. It's Raspberry Ice something. I'm probably getting that wrong. It is another blue from the Market Fresh minis, and I got to tell you, either one of those blues looks beautiful with this Wise Raven SilverSilk color, just so that you are aware. And as far as the SilverSilk is concerned, there are connectors for the ends. So there are some connectors that you can add multi-strands to, which we're actually going to do today. There are single connectors, and then there are some Terminator caps that are just end caps. I'm going to show you all of those things. And again, we're going to try to keep it pretty simple. Just, you know, for those of you who are just getting started. However, I do want you to go over, when you have a minute, to the Jesse James Beads website and check out the selection of SilverSilk that is there. There are some brand new ones that are right under the what's new. There's one called Storm. There's one in the beautiful green. There's one in antique white, which I've never seen in person, but on the computer it looks absolutely stunning. And then the red. So it comes in a lot of different colors. I've got the green one right here. It's just beautiful. I mean, that's all I can say. It's just gorgeous. All right, I'm going to roll back just a second, make sure I haven't missed anything, and then we're going to get down to business, you guys. So something else that I did want to mention before, sorry, I forget. There are other things I need to talk to you about. So first and foremost is the weekly deals. I almost forgot. The weekly deals for this week, you guys, are free shipping on $139 carts. This is particularly interesting timing for those of you who are interested in Destination North Pole, because you can get your free shipping on that, which is a great deal. Okay. You don't need a coupon code for that. You just spend, you know, upwards of $139 and you can get free shipping. Second is 30% off purple, green, orange, and black. Those are all the Halloween colors. So purple, orange, green, and black, 30% off. And the code for that is ZOINKS, ZOINKS. Some of you know exactly what that's from. Some of you are like, what? But the rest of you, you totally know what that is. So those colors, it doesn't mean that it's Halloween stuff. It just means that those are the Halloween colors. Those are the ones that are discounted to 30% off. And you can find some really amazing things in those colors. Like, you don't think Halloween, just you know. And then last but not least is a free connector with a $29 cart. And the code for that is Get Connected. And there are no spaces there. It's all one word. It reminds me of a song that I knew back in the 90s. I will not go there, but it does. Every time I see Get Connected, that code, I'm just like, well, that's a throwback. All right. And then speaking of Halloween, had somebody ask about this earlier, asking about the Magical Mystery Bead Box. So those of you who have got your hands on your Magical Mystery Bead Box, I'm going to be doing a unboxing and it will be released on YouTube very, very soon. That is getting filmed this week. We're going to be using some of those beads in a project next week. So all of that is still going on. We haven't forgotten about the Magical Mystery Bead Box, you guys. We've just had so many other amazing things going on. It's kind of hard to fit everything into the schedule. So just know that that is definitely in the works. We haven't forgotten. How could you forget? Have you guys seen the Magical Mystery Bead Box? Hello, this month's is amazing. I haven't even opened mine. I have it right here. And I haven't opened it because I know what the theme is and I want it to be a surprise when I go to film the video, because I haven't actually had my little paws on the beads, but I know what it is. I'm so excited. So for those of you out there who are interested, you can sign up for the Magical Mystery Bead Box and you can still get in on the November and the December boxes that are coming out. And they are fabulous too. If you think this one was good, just you wait and see. All right. So without further ado, let us get to the project, shall we? All right. Let us get down to it. Hold on, let's see. Sarah, did you just say, don't always think Halloween? I don't think that's possible for me. It's not possible for me either. I live and breathe Halloween stuff. You guys know that. Okay, so let's take a little look-see here, shall we? And this is the gorgeous SilverSilk capture chain that we are using for our project, just so you can get a little peek-see of it. I'll hold it up so you can see it better up close this way, right? Okay, so I'm going to set this to the side. We're going to use this in a couple of different lengths, and then we're going to use the long part with as our necklace length. Okay, this is Blueberry Pie. Losing my beads here, you guys. So a couple of these beads are missing because I've already made one earring, but we're going to make the mate, and we're going to put together a quick and easy pendant to go with it. I just want you guys to just take a little gander at the gorgeousness that is this blue. And don't forget, the Market Fresh Minis come in a wide variety of colors, and they're going super fast, you guys. The Market Fresh Minis sell out super quick because they're so dang pretty. And there's another blue one. There's this one, and then there's another blue that's a little bit lighter blue. So if you're more of a lighter blue person, either one of them is going to look really beautiful with the capture chain here, just so you know. But we're going to use this guy for the focal of our earring. And then there are some smaller ones just like it. We're going to use, I think we're going to use 5 of these guys. We're going to make a little bead bundle. We've been doing bead bundles a lot lately, but they're so pretty and they're so easy to do, and people ask me about them all the time. So I thought it wouldn't hurt to do another bead bundle. Why did I just put that one back? I need it. Like, what am I doing? All right, so we're going to need 5 of the little baby ones. We're going to use this little teardrop shaped guy, and we're going to use one of these round ones as well. So these are just the pieces that we're going to use to create our earring, and then we're going to use some other beads to create our pendant. But let's get on with this part first. Stephanie says she needs to get this blue mix. You do. I'm telling you, you absolutely do. All right, so for the earring, what we're going to do is we're going to take a very small piece of the capture chain. Now, I mentioned before that the capture chain has the ball chain on the inside. And so for those of you who've never worked with it before, the easiest way to work with it is to cut between the balls in the ball chain. So just snip that little section in there. It's much easier than trying to like saw through one of those actual balls. Okay, so it's also a really good way to measure as well. With the iridescent, it's a little bit harder to see each one of the little balls on the ball chain, but you definitely can count those out if you want exact measurements. You know, you can count, oh, there's 30 in this piece, and say you need another piece that's 30. You know, you can do that, or you can use a ruler. Either way, I'm one of those people who I only use the ruler when I absolutely have to. So I eyeball a lot of things. All right, and we're also going to use a connector. Now, we're going to take, let me just kind of show you, explain what we're going to do. We're going to take our SilverSilk and we are going to kind of curve it around our bead here. And then we're going to use our connector. We're going to use a triple strand connector at the top. And you may be wondering, why are we using a triple strand connector when we only have the 2 ends of the SilverSilk? And that's because we also need to make a knotted head pin for this one. So we're actually going to use our knotted head pin inside the connector as well. That's going to be our connection for our bead to just hold our bead in place. Okay, so let me show you what it looks like. This is where we're going. Okay, you can see I've got the teardrop bead. I've got the SilverSilk running around the outside edge, kind of framing the bead. We've got another one of those beautiful beads down here, our simple wraps loop, and then our little cluster of beads. And guys, this looks so pretty on. It really, really does. I know it looks completely different in my hand than it does when you have it on. So I can't wait for you guys to see these on when we get to the end. But these are pretty easy to do. Anywhere that I'm doing a wrapped loop, you certainly can just do a simple loop. So don't feel like you have to make it harder if that's harder for yourself, okay? But the first thing that we want to do is we do want to create a knotted head pin because we do have to have that for our bead. So I've got a piece of 22 gauge wire here, and I'm using German style wire in the silver color. You don't have to have nearly as much as I have. Just give yourself about 3 inches is really, well, I'd say about 3.5 to 4 inches, because we do have to add another bead here. So you're going to need a good little section of it, but you definitely don't need all this, okay? So to do our knotted head pin, we're going to grab the very tip of the wire, and we are going to grab it with the very tip of our round nose pliers. Tanya says, what do you cut the blue link with, and how many inches is it? So I cut it with just a regular cutter tool, and I cut it between the balls and the ball chain, and this piece is 2.5 inches. Okay. All righty. We're going to, again, grab that wire right at the tip. We're going to roll it around the tip of the round nose pliers once all the way around, and then we're going to go a second time directly underneath that first round all the way around. And you want to stop where you see the flush cut on that wire. You are so welcome, my friend. Anytime, anytime. You guys, anytime I don't give you measurements, please feel free to ask. A lot of times I just forget, and some of y'all know I'm really bad with numbers, so you got to shout at me when it comes to measurements. No problem. Hey, Trisha. All right, now, before we take this off of the tool, okay, I want to bend the wire out this direction so that that wire is actually running underneath the 2 coils that we just made, right? You can see. So it's kind of the opposite of what you would think. You would think that you would bend the wire the other direction, but you want to bend it so that it's going underneath those 2 coils. Okay. Now we're going to take the tail end of that wire and we are going to stick it through the 2 little coils that we made. So we make this kind of little lasso thing here. Hi. How are you doing, Susie? And now we're going to use our nylon jaw pliers. Super important here, okay? Got to use the nylon jaw pliers when you're doing this. Otherwise, you will strip off the coating on the outside of your wire and it destroys the wire. So grab with your nylon jaw pliers. You want to make sure that those 2 coils that you just made are sitting right up against the I see what you're saying, Vicki. Hold on a second. My brain is all over the place. So you want to hold it so that the 2 coils are right up against the side of the pliers. Don't let there be any extra space there. And then you want to grab the tail end of your wire with another pair of pliers and pull. And that's going to create a knot in the end of your wire, which is perfect. It makes the wire come right out the center, so it's nice and centered. And now you've got a head pin that you can use for your beads. All right, well, let's see. Let's go back to what Vicki said. Vicki says, how can you be so bad at numbers when you were a sharpshooter? You're so funny. Numbers are just not my thing. They are just not my thing. It's like a language. It's like, to me, it's like trying to speak a different language. You know, words are my thing. Numbers, not so much. I've never been a numbers kind of person. I really, really struggle with that, which makes it hard sometimes because I got to do a lot of measuring here, but I eyeball so many things. Okay, now normally we would put our knot or your head pin end. Hi, Catherine. You would put it right at the bottom of your bead and do your wrapped loop. Well, we actually need this to be our connection inside our 3-strand connector. We need to get that caught in that middle section. So this is actually going to be on the top. So we're actually going to do this kind of upside down. So what we want is we want to thread our bead on this direction, right? With the point of our drop going towards our knot. Okay, and now we want to thread our wire through our capture chain. Now that might seem weird to some of you guys, but you have to remember that the capture chain is just knit wire. So there are little spaces in between. That's what makes it so that you can see that ball chain sparkling through. So we want to try to find the middle. And again, you can measure if you want to. I just kind of eyeball it. Okay, and then I just wiggle my wire through an opening in that capture chain on one side and out the other side. And I caught some of the wire. That's okay, because you see how I just kind of push it right back down. Okay, so now my wire is running directly through that capture chain. So now when I pull this all up this way, right, I can now connect my end piece, the 2 balls on either end of the capture chain and the knotted head pin into my 3-strand connector, right? Now, this is the tricky part, and it's not that it's hard, it's just that when you're working with more than 1 strand of SilverSilk, whether it's 3 strands of SilverSilk or 2 strands and 1 piece of wire or whatever you've got, when it's more than 1, it's just kind of tricky to hold everything together. Makes you feel like you need more hands, more fingers for sure. So just be patient with it, because you want one strand per little slot. You see there's 3 slots. You can see the teeth coming in between there. You want one strand on the outer. You want your knotted head pin in the center. And then you want the other end of your SilverSilk strand in that third one. And you want to try to get everything as even as possible, right? And so it's just kind of tricky to hold everything in place as you come in with your pliers to close this down, okay? So the best way to close your connectors, your end caps and things, your SilverSilk, is to use your Nylon Jaw Pliers, because it's not going to mark up that beautiful double S for SilverSilk on the component. The only thing is that mine tend to be a little bit slippery, and I have found that brand new Nylon Jaw Pliers are the most slippery. So you really get a better grip when you've like really used up your Nylon Jaw Pliers and they really have grooves in them. But either way, just be careful, because I have pinched myself a million times doing this, trying to get my end caps and my connectors closed, because that Nylon Jaw Plier, it wants to slip. It's just slippery. I mean, there's no way around it. See, it's just kind of slippery. But it really is the best tool, because if you use your regular pliers, you really can mark up the metal. So all you want to do, I got you, Vicky. Vicky said I was a sharpshooter, not short. Totally okay. So what you want to do is you want to squeeze, and you want to be sure that you get it nice and closed, okay? Sometimes I can get them completely closed. Other times I can't. Donna says, would tape help? Yes. Tape would help a million bazillion times. That would be the perfect solution. It really, really would. So just give it a good squeeze. Make sure you've got everything connected in there. And again, you want to check the sides and make sure. And then when you get everything closed, then give it the tug test and make sure, you know. So there we framed our bead. That looks beautiful, just like it is. But I'm all about the extra stuff. So we're going to pop another bead on here. So I'm going to take one of these gorgeous blue faceted beads and pop that right there on the end. And now I'm going to create a wrapped loop so that I can hang some more fun from it. That's which is my favorite thing to do. Okay, so I'm just going to grab the wire right where it is exiting that bead. Okay, and I'm not squeezing down really super tight here. There's a little bit of movement here. You see how that bead has a little bit of movement? If I push all this down, it's really going to kind of distort that teardrop shape. Now, I don't want to do that. I want to keep that teardrop shape nice and neat, even if you see some of the wire sticking out at the top up here at the end cap. It's okay. Totally fine. Okay. So I'm going to bend the wire. Now I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers. Grabbing the wire, so it's running between the barrel of the pliers. I'm going to take the wire up and over. I'm going to roll the pliers out of the way so that I can take that wire all the way over to the other side. And then I'm going to wire wrap in the space between the loop and the top of the bead about 3 times. Okay. My loop is a little crooked. Not mad at it though. Okay, and now I'm going to come in and I'm going to trim off the tail. So Catherine, we are making a pair of easy earrings and just a simple pendant with some SilverSilk, and we are using the Blueberry Pie mix from the Market Fresh Minis. Really pretty stuff. All right, so we've got this part ready to go. Now we're ready to create our little cluster down here. And again, we've done clusters. We've done a lot of clusters here lately, but people ask me about them and like to see them. And they really are a beautiful accent, particularly this time of year when we're talking about holidays and stuff. Bead clusters, you can never go wrong with those. So I'm just going to use some head pins. And I'm going to thread each bead on a head pin, and I'm actually going to do these all at once. So I'm going to go ahead and thread every single bead onto a head pin. We're going to do wrapped loops on the top of each one of these, so it's going to take us a minute or two to go through all 5 of these, but I'll go slow with the first 2 and then I'll speed through the last 3 and we'll put them all together. Okay. Anywhere, I know I mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again. Anywhere that I did a wrapped loop, you certainly can just do a simple loop if you want to, okay? It doesn't have to be a wrapped loop. All right. There's Sarah. Hi, friend. All right, so I'm grabbing the wire right where it is exiting the bead, and I'm going to bend the wire 90 degrees, just like so. Let me move this out of the way so you guys can really see here, okay? Now I've got that space in between the top of the bead and the bend in the wire, which is the perfect place to come in with my round nose pliers. Grab the wire, so it's running between those barrels of the pliers, up and over. So Stephanie, I'm using just flat, but you can use the ball if you want. Either way is fine, whichever one you prefer. Take the wire up and over the top barrel of the pliers. I'm going to roll the wire, or I'm sorry, the pliers out of the way and take the wire over to the other side. And now I'm going to wire wrap in that space between the loop and the top of the bead. I can get about 3 wraps. I don't want to push it. I probably could get 4, but I don't want to risk cracking my bead. So I'm just going to stick with 3, trim off the tail, and there's 1. So we're going to do few more, just super quick. And coming in with the round nose pliers again. Okay, up and over. Roll the pliers out of the way. And do the wraps. I'm going to wait to cut everything off. I'm going to do that all at the end now, okay? Ooh, Sarah says they have the head pins in bulk with the pretty fancy star embellished ones. I love those. They're so pretty. I need to get some of those. I need some of those. They really are pretty though. They add such a pretty decorative element to your designs. The ball head pins do too. I don't mind a flat one because that's just what I have a ton of, but I do love the decorative ones. I think they're so pretty. Just adds a little pop of something extra, you know? More is more. Okay, so I'm just kind of zipping through these again. I know, but I told you I would. All right, one last one. Don't know why I put my pliers down. Right. All right, now, so again, we've done several clusters, so we're going to put this together the exact same way some of the other clusters that we've done. They really just look pretty and they're easy to do. And so if you're looking for some inspiration, some little sparkle, little extra something to add to your holiday designs, you can't go wrong with the clusters. You just really can't. And they look great with all shapes of beads and all sizes of beads. And though I tend to stick to the smaller beads, I'm telling you, they look beautiful with great big, amazing, huge beads too. So, all right. To put this together, we're going to link these together with some 4mm jump rings, just like we've done in the past. I'm going to get 3 4mm jump rings. I like to use the 4mm jump rings when I'm using really small beads for my clusters so that they are not overpowered by the jump rings. Okay, so I'm going to open up one of the jump rings and I'm going to thread on one of our beads. This is going to be the bottom bead, and then I'm going to go ahead and close that jump ring back. Okay, the next jump ring, I'm going to open it. I'm going to thread it onto the jump ring I just added, and now I want to add a bead to either side. So there's a bead on that side. I'm going to use my pliers here, just kind of going back and forth. Okay, and a bead on the other side, and now I'm going to close that back. So now we've got 3, and we're going to attach another jump ring to this top jump ring. Okay, open up the jump ring. Whoops. Whoops, hold on. What? You want your beads to be even. That's what I was grabbing the wrong jump ring. Hold on. So you always want one bead on either side. I did it again. What am I doing? There we go. You want that tiered look. It just took me a second because I had put it down and then to pick it back up again. So you want a bead on either side. You just want to be sure that you do that, and it will hang nice and evenly. If you've got it lopsided, you've got too many beads on one side, it won't hang. You know, it won't hang the way you want it to. It'll hang off center, and that's never a good look. Now, before I close that jump ring, I want to thread it onto the loop on the bottom of our earring here. And then I'm going to close that back. Okay, so we're almost done. Now we just need, well, at least we're almost done with our earrings. We need to add our jump rings and our ear wire to the top of this. And I'm going to add a 6mm and a 4mm. Just add a little extra length here. So I'm going to pop on a 6mm jump ring onto the loop that's on our 3-strand connector for our SilverSilk. And then I'm going to thread a 4mm jump ring onto that and close that back. Okay. And then I'm just going to add my 4mm jump ring, my ear wire to that 4mm jump ring. That's just going to make sure that everything hangs all in the right direction. Okay. And there you go. So the earrings, easy peasy pumpkin squeezy, those are done, right? Those are ready to go. Keeping it simple, guys. Keeping it super simple with the SilverSilk so that it feels accessible to everybody. Don't want you to be intimidated by it because it's so pretty. It's easy to look at it and go, oh gosh, I don't know what to do with it. Start simple. You don't have to make it hard. Start easy and then just work your way into it. Get a feel for that SilverSilk before you start doing crazy twists and turns and crazy things with it, right? Which you totally can do, but you know, start here. Everybody's got to start somewhere. All right, so those are the earrings. Now we're going to do a real quick pendant to match this. And I'm going to use another short piece of the SilverSilk. Let me grab my ruler. Okay, this piece is 6 inches long. So I've got a 6-inch piece of the SilverSilk. And then I also went ahead and did this. I did this ahead of time just to kind of save some time. So I used a double strand connector, which is just a hair bit smaller than the triple strand, right? I used the double strand connector and attached 2 pieces. You can make these as long as you want to. You don't even have to do this part if you don't want to, okay? You totally can skip this part altogether. But I love to have extra movement and dangles and things. So I use the 2-strand connector, and then I just use the Terminators at the end. So they don't have a loop on them. It's just a way to kind of end your pieces. So we're going to hang that from our pendant just as something extra. Again, you don't have to do that part if you don't want to. Now, we're going to use another piece of our 22 gauge wire, okay? And I'm not using a lot here. I've got about 5 inches of this. And so what I want to do is, and this is just a tiny bit trickier, not hard, but just a little bit trickier. What I want to do is I want to take one of the larger beads, one of the larger round faceted beads from that mix, and I want to kind of create a coil of my SilverSilk around my bead to make kind of like a swirl, if you will. I'm just kind of doing it here flat so that you kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like, okay? So that's what we're going to do, okay? And I know my fingers are in the way, but you're kind of getting the idea, okay? So what we want is, we want this piece of wire. Remember, we can pierce through that SilverSilk. So we're going to pierce through all of the SilverSilk. We're going to go through the hole on the bead with our wire, do a wrapped loop at the top and a wrapped loop at the bottom, okay? And we're going to attach it to this little end piece, and then that's easy peasy, right? We've got a cute little pendant, and it's going to be, you know, it's just going to take a tiny step. It's not a really drawn out process, but it does help you kind of get a feel for what's possible with the SilverSilk, okay? So I'm going to, let's see, the trickiest part to this is really kind of lining everything up, okay? And I don't want to be right at the end, right? Because I've got to have enough of the SilverSilk next to the hole on the bead that I can pierce it with the wire, okay? And then wrap around. We're going to pierce through again. Now, you can do this one layer at a time. I think that's probably going to be the easiest way. It's going to be to kind of pierce through this one layer at a time. So I'm just going to take the wire. I'm coming down like 2 of the balls on the ball chain. I'm going to come down 2 of those, okay? And pierce through the SilverSilk, okay? I'm going to thread on my bead, okay? Now I want to keep the bead close to the end of the wire so that I can move it back and forth, right? See, now I just want to see how it's just barely coming through so that I can pierce through the SilverSilk, okay? Now we're going to slide down to this end. We're going to do the same thing. Okay, bring that close to the end. Slide that wire between the SilverSilk. And it's really going to kind of be up to you as to how much space you want between. If you want that SilverSilk really tight up next to the bead, or if you want there to be daylight between there. I kind of like mine to be open. Kind of looks like a galaxy swirl. Slide it down to the other end. Okay, so I'm just sliding back and forth on this wire. That's all I'm doing. Okay, and now I'm going to slide back down to the other side. Oh, I'm going to be a little short. Okay. Need to tighten up this last swirl. So bring it back down here. Over just a hair, if you will. Okay. Slide back down here. Still might be too short. It is. But you're getting to see. So you want to be sure that you can get all of it. I'm going to just have to tighten up my wraps a little bit. And that's fine, right? I mean, we're not doing anything hard. We're just kind of, Vicky says I'm making an eyeball. We're just kind of sliding back and forth. And there's not anything hard about that. And the great thing about the SilverSilk is that you can pierce it several times and it doesn't, you're not destroying it by any means. You're not making any marks on it that are, you're not permanently damaging it or anything. Now that was exactly the right length. So just going to push through right there. All right, now we've got our little swirl. See, it just took a little bit of patience, but there wasn't anything really hard about that. It was just kind of sliding it back and forth, right, between the end of the wire, just working that swirl all the way around, okay? Now I'm going to decide which side I like as the front. I think I like that the best as the front. So I'm going to slide on, let's see, a smaller one of those blue faceted beads. I'm just in love with this blue faceted kind of metallic blue. Those are so pretty. And now we are going to do a wrapped loop. Okay. So up and over. Roll that out of the way. And of course, everything slid down. That's okay. We'll slide it all back up here in just a second. Okay. Come in and trim off the tail because we don't need that excess wire for anything. Okay, now push all of that back up there. Okay. And now we're just going to do a wrapped loop here on the other side as well. So just following the same steps. and then we're going to trim that off. Oh, and I bent my wire just a little bit. I just want to kind of straighten everything back up here. Gosh, that's pretty. So easy, right? That's not hard, but the results are just so pretty. And it's that combination of that gorgeous Jesse James bead and the SilverSilk. Like, they really are just made to go together. They really, really are. Like, that's, to me, that's just, it looks like a starry night or something, you know. It's very very spacey, but in the most beautiful way. You know. All right, so I'm gonna take a 4mm. I'm actually running out of words, you guys, as crazy as that seems. I'm just at a loss for words tonight. So just a 4mm jump ring onto this guy, and then onto the bottom of our pendant. And again, like I said, you don't have to do this extra hanging part if you don't want to. I'm just so in love with this blue SilverSilk. I was like, I'm gonna put it wherever I can. But if you wanted to, you could add the Jesse James beads tassels here instead. Like, even that would have been gorgeous. This guy, any of the beads, a bigger cluster would have been gorgeous as well, right? You literally can do anything with this. I was just trying to give you, you know, a jump off point, as always. Let's see. The question is, Lois, is there anything to put on the end of the SilverSilk by that bead? So you're talking about right here, our raw edge. There is not. And you absolutely can, well, I take that back. There is, in a technical sense, that you could put one of these Terminators on there if you wanted to, right? Thanks, Jane. You could put one of these Terminators on there. The only reason that I didn't use the Terminator is because the Terminator is, let's see, about, it's about 3/4 of an inch. No, I'm sorry, not 3/4. It's a little over 1/4 of an inch long. We're getting close to a 1/2 inch there. So it would be kind of just hanging out into space here. And I'm just not a fan. And if you trim off your ends of your capture chain, I don't have any like stray stragglers there. So don't have to worry that like it's going to get hung on anything. It's not going to fray or anything like that. Just as long as you have a nice clean cut. It doesn't bother me at all. However, if it does bother you and it drives you absolutely crazy, you can take some 24 gauge wire or some 26 gauge wire and just wire wrap over the end here. You know, just do a couple of wraps around and cover off that end if you wanted to. But those are really just kind of your choices. Could you put a small bead cap at the end? You could, but you would have to figure out how you're going to attach that. I guess you could glue it if you wanted to, but there's just really no real way to attach that. I do not have any luck. I know other people do, but I've not had any luck running wire through the capture chain because the capture chain already has that ball chain running through there. However, there is some chain, there is a SilverSilk that is hollow, and you absolutely can run wire through it if you want to, and you don't have to fight against the ball chain. So if that's an option, you know, if that's what you're looking for, that is available. All right, so all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put this on a 6mm jump ring, and I'm just going to thread it onto another piece of this gorgeous capture chain and call it a day, because I feel like it's gorgeous, just like it is, right? I'm going to thread this on. You would put some end caps, obviously, on the ends of your capture chain, and a jump ring, and, you know, a clasp of some variety. But I just want you guys to just kind of see. So we've got this really cool necklace, and then the matching earrings. And it was pretty simple, right? We didn't do anything super, super hard, but I feel like it's all really an effective and gorgeous look, and something that not everybody's going to have. So if you're looking to like make a statement, this is definitely one of those things. You know, doesn't take a whole lot of time to put together, but the payoff is beautiful. At least in my opinion, the payoff is beautiful. All right, I'm going to turn you around. I'm going to put the earrings on. I'm going to put the necklace on a bust so you can kind of see what it looks like instead of just laying there flat. And then we will say our goodbyes for the day. So let me grab the bust first, get that part taken care of. And then I will turn you around. Okay. Oops, sorry guys. I didn't mean to hit that. I apologize. Everybody hold on tight. Nobody gets seasick on me. Okay, turning you around now. Sorry. Oh gosh. Well, or you can look at the back of the room. Hold on. Hold please. Sorry about that. At least there's not like a huge mess over there or anything. It's just a wall. All right, so I'm going to put the earrings on and then I'll show you the necklace on the bust so that you can see it. These earrings are so sparkly and fun. They really are just so pretty, and they would look beautiful in any combination of the SilverSilk that's available on Jesse James beads and one of the Market Fresh minis, or any of the mini mixes, really, to be honest with you. I mean, any combination is going to work. The SilverSilk and the Jesse James beads are just, they're perfect together. See how pretty and fun that is? Just really sparkly statement. You know, I'm feeling it. I think they're pretty. And then I'll show you guys the necklace. So the necklace is not like over the top, but there's so much sparkle here that you don't need it to be over the top, right? The beads are the perfect amount of bling, and you've got that sparkle running all through the SilverSilk capture chain. So yeah, Maggie says, such a saucy tart these pieces are. I know. I love your vocabulary, my dear. Saucy. These are saucy. I love it. I think they're perfect for the holidays. You know, it's not like over the top crazy statement piece. You could wear this and you're still going to draw attention because of all of the sparkle and just the beauty that is there. So, all right. Oh, thank you. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. I was worried because I was afraid that you guys were going to think that this design was too easy. And I never want to give you anything that's going to make you bored, but I wanted to introduce you to the SilverSilk without making it seem scary, because we do have beginners in our midst, and that's okay. Everybody's got to start somewhere. Welcome in. You're in the right place, because, you know, really and truly beautiful jewelry does not have to be hard. And so I like to keep it. I like to keep it easy breezy when possible. Yeah, I'm going to teach you techniques. You know, I'm big on education, but I'm a huge believer in that beautiful jewelry does not have to be a representation of every single technique that you've ever learned in your life, right? It just doesn't have to be that complicated. So, all right, that is it for me. You guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Please do not forget to check out those weekly deals. You've got free shipping on $139 carts. You've got, let's see, just want to make sure I get them right. You've got 30% off purple, green, orange, and black. And I'm going to be doing design on the fly with those colors on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So set your reminders for that. And you can get a free connector with a $29 cart. And the code for that is Get Connected. There are no spaces in between there. Don't forget to sign up for Destination North Pole if you have not yet. There is only a tiny, tiny fraction of spots left. If you missed the unboxing, go watch that, look at the gorgeous beads, and then head over to the website, sign up, get your free shipping, and you are good to go for the holidays. It's going to be so much fun, you guys. Cannot wait. And stay tuned for Magical Mystery Bead Box. All of those things are coming at you soon too. And there's new things. There are new things on the horizon. Can you believe it? Always something new, always something fun. All right, have a great rest of the night, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you guys again on Wednesday, and if not, same time, same place right here next Monday. Bye, guys.